The pool currently standing at 790,000, and where they go. Sacred Ibis tucking in off the early speed as we watch them cover the first 100 meters or so, and it's Twice As Special that's gone off to lead them. Twice As Special is out in front. It's a Pleasure is handy over towards the outside. Bell Jar tucked away at the rail in third. Then Spring Lightning behind that is Bent El Malak. They followed by Susie Wu, caught 3 deep in the early stages. Pop Over is over towards their inside. They were followed then by ENRAPTURE. Further back to Princess Analia, and just behind that is Adorable Analia, and Sacred Ibis is at the back of the field. They're not going quickly at all. Twice As Special, the leader along the inside. It's a Pleasure, keen on her outside. They followed by Spring Lightning. Bell Jar's beautifully placed to have a crack at the leaders. Susie Wu continues to race 3 deep along the outside of Bint El Malak and Pop Over. Then comes ENRAPTURE further back to Jur. They were followed by Princess Analia. Then comes Adorable Analia, and at the rear of the field is still Sacred Ibis. At the top of the stretch now, they've got a little more than 400 meters to go. Twice As Special, the leader. It's a Pleasure closest to her. Then comes Spring Lightning. Susie Wu in the cheek pieces moving to the outside. Bell Jar's being called up for her effort over towards the inside. Bint El Malak is between runners, and Sacred Ibis running on strongly from the rear of the field. It's an absolute cavalry charge. Bell Jar the inside. It's a Pleasure on the outside. Spring Lightning. ENRAPTURE storming home between runners. ENRAPTURE between runners, and here comes It's a Pleasure on the outside, but ENRAPTURE gets up to win it from It's a Pleasure, Bell Jar and Pop Over. Well, Sherman Brown seen at his absolute best. ENRAPTURE given a patient ride in a slow run race. One has to say that the pace was very modest in the early stages. It's a Pleasure looked as if she might just go on to deliver a victory for Warren Kennedy. Anton Marcus hard at work down the inside, and Bell Jar. But then you could see ENRAPTURE weaving her way through between the traffic, and the run is perfectly timed for number 10, ENRAPTURE. ENRAPTURE goes on to win it by under half a length. It's a Pleasure, a close-up second. Bell Jar, every chance in third, and number 1, Pop Over towards the inside will round out the quartet. A good run from Spring Lightning. Sacred Ibis moved up, but flattered to deceive. Bint El Malak behind those. Then Twice As Special, and Susie Wu didn't go through with her effort. Well, at the 250 metres mark, it was a typical fillies and mares handicap, with at least 8 of them staking claims. But it was ENRAPTURE coming through between runners. It's a Pleasure on her outside, Bell Jar on her inside. ENRAPTURE splits them and goes on to win by a neck or so. From It's a Pleasure in second, Bell Jar third, and Pop Over to round out the quartet down the inside in 4th position. That's the result to race 4, the first leg of the first jackpot, as we hand you back to the studio.
Just seen ENRAPTURE, the daughter of Karari, for the Al Kyle breeders, come through to win, and really well done to the Yogas Governor team. Now, she's a horse who looks very progressive, and I got to say, decent ride there.
Yeah, I thought Sherman had her in a very good position, and you know, I was just a bit concerned that the gaps might not open, but he did. And yeah, she's a gutsy filly. This is not a bad filly. If you look at a win and a run after a maiden win, she's just got beaten 3 lengths, and her last run was a good run. She ran 4th, but she came to the inside. She was well. You know, I'm glad now that they moved you to the poly, but I was fluking when it happened, because I thought she's better on the grass. But I'm just very, very glad she's come through. A big thank you to Amir, Al Kyle Breeders here. He's been a good, and he's been a long supporter of my yard, and I'm so glad for him. Real gentleman. You know, he's having the success, so please God, long may it continue. And well done to Sherman. A big thank you to Billy. Billy does a lot of work back home, so you know, a big thank you to him and to my staff and to GBets. Thanks for the sponsor.
Well done, Yogas.
Thanks a lot, Sheldon.
Now, Sherman Brown's going to give us a bit more different class ride here. You had to wait, and just how big was that gap you went through?
Yeah, the gap was very tight. I was travelling, and I saw the gap in front of us, and it was a matter who got through there first. My horse had a little bit more in the tank, so you know, win full of merit. Got to say a big thank you to Yogi and the owners for supporting me through these times. It's been so nice coming down here and getting to ride his horses and forming up a nice partnership.
Well ridden there. We'll give you a 9 out of 10, and that'll be probably ride of the day.
Thank you.
There we go, Sherman Brown, one of the nominees for Ride of the Day at this stage. He really had to weave through. Now let's get the winning groom through. His name is Sipa Mandla. So Sipa Mandla is going to get the 1,000 Rand check from Hollywoodbets and Gold Circle. Well done to all. ENRAPTURE's come through to win.
currently standing at 790,000, and where they go. Sacred Ibis tucking in off the early speed as we watch them cover the first 100 metres or so, and it's Twice As Special that's gone off to lead them. Twice As Special is out in front. It's a Pleasure is handy over towards the outside. Bell Jar tucked away at the rail in third. Then Spring Lightning behind that is Bent Elma. Susie Wu caught 3 deep in the early stages. Pop Over is over towards their inside. They were followed then by ENRAPTURE. Further back to Princess Analia, and just behind that is Adorable Analia, and Sacred Ibis is at the back of the field. They're not going quickly at all. Twice As Special, the leader along the inside. It's a Pleasure, keen on her outside. They followed by